Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing Wednesday silhouette with me. We're going to be working on some haunted houses. So let's get some glue and we're going to put our window in our house. So let's make sure you can see where I'm at. Yep, okay, so now I'm going to put just a little glue around the edge of our window because we don't want it to really come out of the window. We just want it to stick to the paper. So I'm going to hold it in the center so I can get this last little edge because it's going to be inside our house, so we really don't want it coming off because once we put it in, we're going to be set. So let's pull some tweezers, and I have a little clear spot with no glue right there, and we're just going to set this down right here and seal the glue, and we have our window. Okay, so now that we have our window, the next thing we have to do is actually build the house. I've creased all of our creases. Our first one we're going to be putting together is going to be this this little end right here. I am going to make sure we have a nice square, straight bend. I'm going to do that one last time because we're going to need our house to square itself up. So let's put a little bit of glue on this tab. Okay, get it close to that dotted line so that we have a nice tight seal. Okay, we have enough on there. Now so the reason we want to seal this, and we want to make sure that when we place this, I'm almost going to turn it on its side because I want to be able to make sure that I line this up perfectly when I adhere the glue, right? Because once this glue sticks, it's going to stay stuck. So we're going to want to put our hand behind the back, and we're going to want to place this really close to that dotted line so that it is nice and straight all the way up, and we'll hold the glue on. Okay, so we're going to hold the glue for just a second, and see, it really just only takes a second for that to really adhere. I'm going to hold it one last time just to make sure it gets a really nice tight seal so that when we open it up, it can square up. So now we have it square, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over and we're going to put our tabs, all our tabs in, because when we put our tabs in, they're going to help us square it, right? Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to put our tabs in, right? And they're going to go in, and we're going to lay it on top of our grass. So we want our house to, when we get done, to set just like this. So we want to make sure that when we get ready to go, that we have our tabs good and lined up. And our tabs kind of overlap themselves just a little bit. So what we can do here is I'm going to see, this one was under that one, right? So I'm going to seal that one closed. So see right here, that's going to seal that corner closed, and then we'll seal the other corner closed. Then we'll just do that. Then we'll create a nice tight square, and that's what we're going for. So we want to square up our corners of our houses when we place these tabs. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the edge of this tab on the inside, and that's only because this edge is all I'm going to have touching Okay, so I want to square it up, and I want to make sure that's on there nice and square, and hold it for a second. It did not stay, so let's square it again and hold it for a second. And we may have to do the other side as well, so let's kind of do both edges at the same time so that we can hold both down at the same time. And what I'm going to do is, once I get this glued on both sides, I'm gonna hold it to that paper. And the reason I'm gonna hold it to the paper is because then I can get it a nice set, right, from the inside. So that's going to come down, and it's going to square up right there. And I'm going to take my Silhouette pen and kind of hold that in place real quick for those two spots. Sorry if my head got in the way. I was just hoping that we could get at least one to secure and hold. Let's hope maybe we'll get lucky here. We might be better with a flatter edge. Let's see if I can get in there and get, okay, that's got us a good edge. Okay, so we got a nice tight seal on that one. And we're going to do the same on this other side. And I am going to do a little bit of a tab right here. I don't know if it's going to seal, but we're going to try. And here, okay. So now I'm going to put it down so I get the square on the other side, right? It just is a quick little trick to hopefully us being able to put it squarely. It's going to need to be really pretty square for us to put our shingles on, because we're going to have to put our shingles on with this held in and held straight. So we're going to put a shingle on each side over here so that when we get done, right, it comes up nicely and corners. Okay, so now that we've got those corners nice and flat and as connected as they're going to be, we're going to put glue on the bottom of this. We're also going to go along the flaps as well. Okay, so we're going to just get a good amount of glue on here because we want it to be able to set to our grass, because that's going to give us a nice square up. Okay, so our goal is to really get a nice square sitting on our square. So I'm going to guess this is about right in the middle, and I'm going to hold it down on each side here while I just run this other bottle kind of down to hold it into place, right? We just want to get it to hold for a second and it'll stay. There we go. And just give it a minute and it'll finish sticking. Just gonna hold it down. It is slightly to the edge, but that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that part, right? I just want to now square this up, and I'm going to check how this is going to set. Okay, so this is going to sit right here, so it's got a little overflow on both sides. Oh. That could be either way. Yeah. Okay, so I was looking at the picture just to make sure that we were doing this correctly, and I kind of saw something different that I hadn't seen before, so I wanted to double check looking at it again. So we're going to just do these bottom sections, right, of our glue on here. because we're only going to connect this bottom section to, oh shoot, we just spilled glue, but that's okay. We can cover that up eventually. So here we're going to lay it down on here. I can already feel the heat of it activating. Hold that one on, and then I'm going to hold this one on so that we get a nice tight seal on that one. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to take a smaller one and we're going to put that right on top of that, actually. So let's, yeah, because then we'll lay our other big great white one. Okay, so make sure these are nice and bent in. Bend these in a little bit better so that we have a nice, good, strong, okay. So I'm going to use our double-sided tape. Here it is. It got covered up in the bags from when I was checking things. Because all we're going to do is connect our black to our white. So we don't need a real thick, tight touch necessarily, right? I have some glue on the thing, it just a little bit, and it'll be fine because it'll connect to the other one and help secure it, which is fine. We are going to put this on here nicely, and then we'll leave this glue because you won't see that anyways. This tape will take off once we're done. We're going to bring our other white one over, and it's going to sit, oh, I should have probably put this up just a little bit. See, and so this is why I did that, because I wasn't quite sure how we were going to have to do like little adjustments on it. So if you have double-sided tape, if you're really careful, because it's early and it hasn't completely stuck, it is removable. And that's one of the benefits of using the double-sided tape on a piece like this, because if I had it in the wrong place, and I see I'm going to have to move it up, so I want a little nice secure, make sure I have a nice tight tape to it, okay? So I have a nice amount of tape on there. We are going to have to move this up slightly so that we have a nice line. And see, it's not quite set up right, so we want to get started over here. And we're going to secure it where we have a nice straight line. And then it'll come over to the other side. Okay? And a little bit showing is not going to be that big of a deal. It is a handmade piece, and that's part of having a handmade piece, right? Is now we're going to put this piece on, and I want to make sure that it comes right here. And I know that it's probably not quite. I should have probably left this down even farther down. And it's been a year since I've made these. There's no actual set directions on where to put it. You just have to kind of look at the picture. And so I'm just looking at the picture on the website and ensuring that I'm finding it right. So we're going to line up to this edge since it's on the front. And I want to bring it down to where I just have a tiny bit over, right? A tiny bit over. And make sure it's straight before we lay it down. And there we go. That's right. That looks about right to the picture. because then I can put this on top of it. And there's a nice balance between the bottom one and there. And really it does have to be there because the black one's going to go on top. Let me do this. Let's look at it. We're going to put this kind of here so we can see where that's at. And it might make kind of a, I kind of like the way the roof is though. It's just a little bit more black and less white. More white and less black. That's it. Okay, so we are going to, we're going to go over here now, and we're just going to run a little bit of glue right in here. Okay, a little bit of glue right in here. Right, so we have a place to secure. And we really want to make sure that we get these lined up well and where we want them when we put them down. Because we are using glue on this one. So it's really important that I'm just holding it so that it secures that glue. We will put the other black one on once we get the other side of the roof done, because I want to be able to tie them together up here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn around. We're going to make sure that's nice and tight in there. Plus I want to be able to get my fingers in a little bit, right? I want to be able to have a little bit of movement. So we're going to measure this again. And we did it so it's about right there. Okay, so now let's put some glue here on here. Let's try not to drip it on this side, and over here as well. And we'll put this one on. Remember what I said, this one's important to line up just right. Because if you don't line it up just right, it's not gonna stay. I'm just gonna get a nice like seal on there. And let me just hold the insides for just a second. It's just to make sure it's on good and straight. So now, as we saw, we just need to bring this up just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten it up just a little bit as we pull it. Okay, here we go. I was just trying to get that paper part of the band to tighten up just a tad. And I'm only doing that because I really want that nice straight edge over there. And remember, we're just going to be putting it just above those dots. So we don't want to get in between the dots, just up to them or around them. Okay, so sometimes I tape them to my board by themselves. So you have to cut the tape somehow to get them away. There we go. That was easy. And then all you have to do is grab that and it comes right off, right? Okay, so the front of our house is on this side, so we want to make sure that we have a nice line straight on this side where we want it. Remember, we're just going up a little bit, not a whole lot. There we go. Let's get a nice, it's not a straight line. I'm not feeling the straight line. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of particular when lines are supposed to line up, that they really try to line up. It's important when you're trying to do something like this that you keep it consistent and that you do try to keep your lines as straight as you can. And that's really just so you don't have to play around with it all the time, right? So all we're going to do is we're going to put this back on here on this next one, and it is just going to line up right here where we're just below the bubbles like we did to the other side. So we want to make sure that it's just under the bubbles because we don't want to see that, and so that's where we're going to go. And let's do this. Let's do a little glue job here and a little glue job here. And here a little glue, there a little glue. Glue everywhere. Right? We have glue everywhere. Not really. Okay, so now we want to make sure, remember what I said, we want to get that line up just right. When you set that glue, it is not forgiving like the tape. So if you choose to use glue, know that it is not forgiving. It is not going to let you reset. Okay? Once you're set and you secure, you are stuck. So once you feel that warmth coming through, that it is activating and it is connecting, then that's when you know that you're not going to get it off. Okay? So now our next thing is to really kind of close out that. Oh, they're gonna, let me put my password in here really quick. Because I want to make sure, because we're going to be putting on, oh, you gotta be kidding. Okay. Okay, so the roof does go on the back. So we're going to, that'll go on, looks like it goes on the back. And maybe that's, I don't know. We'll put it where we want to put it, okay? So we'll figure out our chimney next. So our door, let's go ahead and, do we want a white door? Or do we want a black door? I'm kind of thinking I want a black door on this one. What do you think? I think it doesn't pop out enough. I think we need the white door on this one. What do you think? Yeah, I think we do. And I might make myself a little, I'll probably do a spider web on the door or something. So what we're going to do is, since this is somewhere I want to make sure I get placed right, I'm going to use my tape. Okay, it is really just because it allows me to make adjustments if necessary, whereas glue does not. And I want a nice tight seal on this, and I want it to line up good. And yes, I am doing this on purpose because I do not want to have tape over the door. So I'm going to go all around it, except for the hole itself. And cut whatever I need to of the tape and pick up. Here we go. So let's just kind of fold these extra tape over, because we can always use the extra tape, okay? It won't hurt to lay it on its side. You can also rub it off. So this piece is going to have to rub off when we get it on. Maybe not. Maybe I got it. Oh, I might have gotten it. Okay, so we'll rub off what we can't. I want my door to center like right on the window, like a door normally would. Okay, and so I'm just going to press that on. I don't have to have as much pressure with the tape. And once it secures, it takes about, I'd say 24 hours for that tape to cure. And then I'll be able to rub the rest off. It'll cure to what it's sticking to. So now all we have to left is to take our black roofs And I might do this a little different. Instead of using this, I might actually use 2 of the bigger ones, because I can recut things as I choose, right? Because this is my silhouette. And if I want to use a, yeah, see, that's not going to work. So we really do need to use these ones, because we want to put it right up here at the top. We want it to go across corner to corner as much as possible on that roof, so that when we bring our other one across and put it on there, they will kind of touch. And this one doesn't want to bend in as much, and so it's more bowed out, and I really don't know how to fix it. So we will find a way to make it look like it's fixed, right? Isn't that part of it? And that part of the fun of creating is, if something doesn't look exactly like you want it to look, you can adjust it up to how you want it to be. I find that quite exhilarating, that I can take something that somebody else created. And it's not to say I don't create my own, and I do. I create my own patterns on various things. I usually do it on my vinyl, because boxes are not the easiest thing to always create. But we do our best in our world. Okay, so we want to go corner, that corner, and be lined up on our white, to that corner and be lined up. Okay, so now there's one, right? Now we'll turn the other way and we'll get this one ready. And, oops, got a piece of paper on there. Okay, so we have one there and one there. Okay, that was pretty straight. And I think it stuck to other glue that was there before. It was. So sometimes when you're doing this, glue comes off and it gets stuck. All you have to do is roll it with your finger, then it comes right off. That's the nice part of using this glue, is it really does come together and work well and nice together. Okay, so that is not right. And it is not lined up correctly, is it? Okay, so let's get it lined up over here on this edge. Okay, lined up on this edge, so that we can bring it over and attach it as we go to this edge. Okay, so our house, that's the roof of our house. So our little house is done. Look at that. And look, I'm going to take, we've got a bat, so I think I'm going to put a little tape on my bat here, and a little bit on his wing, because it's just going to sit there as a decoration on the house, right? So it doesn't have to have a whole lot of perfection. Just make sure we get the glue off it, or the tape. And then I'm just going to put the bat right here. So we have a nice bat. And I think I'm going to put our ghost down here coming to visit. What do you think? It might be too much white on white, huh? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, I think I'm actually just going to leave that little house like that. I'll come in and I'll clean that all off. But I think we're all done with our Halloween house. So with that said, it's a Halloween haunted candy house. So, I want to do some reviewing on that, but I think it turned out nice. It's actually supposed to open, so I think I did part of it wrong. Something was supposed to come over it, but I'll have to figure it out. But in the meantime, I want to thank you all for coming. If you like this video, a thumbs up will be great. If you don't, a thumbs down is fine. But please let us know below in the comments why you said no. If you want to be part of our Sunset Girl Creates family, we would love to have you a part of it. Come join us, and we'll see where we can go, right? Where are we going to go? I don't know yet. So we'll find out. So with that said, thank you all for coming, and I look forward to our next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.